crazy, crazy, crazy stuff that happened out there. A lot of matches to cover. Should we start with our friends from Indonesia, guys? Should we start with our friends from Indonesia?
Let's start with Indonesia. Let's do it.
Okay. The Indonesians went to Bahrain, and let's talk about the good first. It was an exciting match, right? 2-2, Bahrain versus Indonesia. And the two boys, your boy Ragnar and
Mr.
Struick with a golazo, man. Let's talk about that for Indonesia. They were struggling scoring before. They got 2 goals today.
And Mr. Martin Paz, save after save again. Another incredible performance. Let's be honest about this. Indonesia deserved to take 3 points from this game. They deserved the biggest victory in the history of the Garudas. It wasn't to be, Roy, because what's 6 or 9? 6? 9? What's going on?
That was painful. That hurt my heart. And let me start by saying something that I'm going to say very, very poorly, but I hope all of my Indonesian friends feeling this tie will hear me and will feel that I mean it. Kami mencintaimu. Do you guys know what that means? Rocky and Sakil, are you fluent in the language of Indonesia?
Teach us the ways, Roy. Teach us the ways.
Kami mencintaimu is we love you. And then I'll throw Indonesia at the end there. Kami mencintaimu, Indonesia.
Look, we are just watching this team, and we obviously watched the full match of this, and you do start to fall in love with the team because of how hard they fight, how much fight each of these players give. Yep. Jay Idzis, we've talked time and time again. Rock, Martin Paz, Roy's MLS boy, trying to spur on the team. And then the new additions, I thought Reinders fit in really well. I thought he played a great match. And then, of course, and then Struick with what a strike in that moment. The goalie had no chance for Bahrain. All of that in the end. Look, guys, if we had said before the match, would Indonesia be happy with a draw in Bahrain? 100%. I think all of our Indonesian fans would have been super happy. But the way it happened, guys, were they robbed? Let's talk about that.
Yes. I think the answer is yes, Roy. I mean, I think maybe the referee is dyslexic and maybe he saw the 6, thought it was a 9, and that's why he put on 9 minutes. I honestly don't get it. I feel that 6 minutes means 6 minutes, right? And maybe a little bit extra. But for me, it went on too long, and it felt very much like a home field advantage, Roy, for Bahrain.
Yeah, that really, really hurt to watch because 6 minutes never means 6 minutes. First of all, let's be real. There was a yellow card in there. So then you push it to 7, right? You push it to 6.5. You push it to 6:45. To push it to almost 9 minutes, there better be an injury where they got to get the carts in there and they take 4 or 5 minutes to get them off the field. There better be a streaker on the field running across to hug Struick or Martin Paz, someone running in to hug Martin Paz after all his saves. That's what needs to happen for there to be an additional 3 to 4 minutes after the stoppage time announcement. So I see this as borderline criminal from the referee. I see this as, it's hard to say there isn't some kind of foul play here. I'm not one to build conspiracies or anything like that, but it just seems like the ref got it wrong. He added way too much time at the end there, and it cost Indonesia. But the big question is, should Indonesia have held on? Should they have done a bit of a better job to hold on to that lead?
You know what's interesting? There was an incident right before that where Indonesia had a chance to, all the players running forward. And I thought, why not take it to the corner flag? Yep. Why try to shoot? Why to try to shoot and score in that moment? And then I was thinking, what if this ref decides to keep playing? And what if they allow a goal because of that? Because you take it to the corner flag and that match is done. It's finished.
It's over. A smart decision. Yep. It would have been the smartest decision, but it felt like immaturity. It felt like these players are so excited to be playing for a team that adores them and that they have millions of new fans and their social media accounts blew up and they're 1,000x the followers and they're pumped. They want to be heroes. They want to score a goal. They'll have their name in a spotlight. And that got to them, I think, in that moment. I think that got
But let's be honest. They were heroes. And this is the challenge, right? Because the reason we love this team is because the fight they show is incredible. I mean, they go into tackles like crazy, right? And the challenge is sometimes that ends up hurting you the other way, right? The first goal is off a free kick. I think an unnecessary foul in the middle of the field. I felt a few unnecessary fouls in there. There's a couple things they need to clean up, I think, which is that spirit, that energy sometimes also can serve you the other way, right? So a little more clean I'd like to see. And there's a few elements of that, I think, that need to be improved upon. But what a performance, we have to say. On the road, in a hostile environment, to be this close to the greatest victory in the history of this country.
Yeah. And after going a goal down and after having a pretty poor start, right? The first half, Bahrain dominated. And then to come out in the second half, first of all, that goal was huge right before the end of the first half. And then to come back in the second half, Indonesia dominated the second half. It was a dominating performance. And of course they got the goal to deserve with Ragnar Struick and we thought they were going to win.
Yeah. We did. And it would have been incredible. It would have been such a great story. But let's take a step back, right? Because at the end of this is not a bad result. And you have now a game at home that you have to win. But if you do, the table is going to look very different in a few days, right? Because Saudi Arabia lost. So I think Indonesia, it's a sad thing, but opportunity still remains, Roy.
Opportunity remains, but given the way the game went, it is a very bad result. It is a very bad result. It's not the result that Indonesia needed right now. If we look at the standings, Indonesia sits in 5th, a point behind Bahrain. That's 3 points total across 3 games. It's a difficult position. It is a difficult position to be in, but based on the way this team has been growing, based on the fact that each game they're looking better and better, they've figured out their attack in this game. They've gotten to a place where they're creating multiple chances. If they could go into the next game, this as a base, the second half as a base, they'll get their first win, man. They'll get their first win.
And the win will be, if they win, it's huge because remember, Saudi Arabia plays Bahrain, right? I mean, there's a lot of still to come. They don't look good now where they're placed, but things could be very different. They're actually very well placed, in my opinion, even though it doesn't look like it.
Yeah, because remember, you just need to get in the top 4. Forget the automatic qualification spots, right? So the biggest key is going to be this next game against China is a must win. It is. We talked about Roy's confident that Indonesia is going to win. Yeah. 100%. So this is it. This is the biggest game in Indonesian football history, and it is a needed must 3 points here. And then you think about if they get that victory, I agree with Rahi, because then the table looks a lot different based on some of the other things that happened. Guys, you said to bring something for the Indonesian fan, whatever team you liked. I got to support the Indonesian team here. What I got here is some chips that are, okay, it's a Hawaiian company, but it is made in Indonesia. And if you don't believe me, I'm 1,000% sure because there's a made in Indonesia label somewhere on here. You guys have to believe me. It's something called Wailana.
Can you show us the chips? Show us the
Here's
chips.
the chips. Here's the chips.
We can't see them.
Here are the chips. What? Here they are.
Go.
But it says it's made in Indonesia. Made in Indonesia, 1,000%. Right here. Made in Indonesia. It says it. It says it on the thing, guys. Can you see that? Where is it? Where's that little thing? Made in Indonesia.
I see.
You see it?
But look.
Yeah.
I think
made in Indonesia. There it is.
I see it.
Okay.
I think we wanted to get some jerseys, guys. Because the way this team is playing, I can really see, fast forward a few months, we could be really talking about them potentially fighting for that second spot in this group. Okay. No one else, I haven't been impressed by anybody else in this group to the extent that I think they can. I mean, this is wide open, Roy. wide open.
Okay. And let's talk about that, Roy, because he said
Yep.
this group is wide open, but there was another game here, if you saw this,
Well,
which
one
I
win,
think
guys. One win by Indonesia, and they could jump to second, given other results. That is
Yeah.
incredible. Can I say one more thing about the
Go ahead.
Indonesians?
Go ahead.
I didn't bring a bag of chips like Sahil, but I learned the language, and I just want to say one more thing. Kamu adalah pejuang. Pejuang. Kamu adalah pejuang. What is that, guys? You should know it, Sahil. You're the guy that went to Indonesia for the bag of chips. What does that mean?
I do not know. I do not know, Roy. You must
Very
teach me the
close.
ways.
You almost got it. It's you are warriors. That is what I want to say to the Indonesian people and the team.
So Indonesia, best of luck for the match against China. We will obviously cover it after that, and hopefully there will be no foul business in that match, or no extended added time, or whatever you want to call it.
Keep flying, Garudas. Keep flying.